Yo, what is going on, guys? This is Professor Loki, and in this video we're going to be talking about how to play or how to build Kallari properly. I'm currently a Kallari one trick, and I believe that this is the best build path and order for Kallari. I will first talk about the build, and then I'll explain the build and then compare that to what most people build. The first item we're going to go is called Demon Edge. The second item we're going to go is Cleave in the jungle. Just Cleave itself. This helps you clear. And then after that, you want to go Dread. Dread is Sustain, Movement Speed. Well, I'll just keep going. And then you want to go into Pain Weaver, into Omen. You sell Barbaric Cleaver for Vanquisher. And that's the build. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and explain the build because I'm sure a lot of you guys have questions. And again, if I miss any questions, please leave in the comments down below and I'll answer them. The first time we're going to go Demon Edge. So actually, Demon Edge is the cheapest. It is 2,900 gold for the most power you're going to get at first item because it gives you the 15% physical power increase and it gives you 10% lifesteal. And on top of all of that, you gain 35% penetration, which is equivalent to around 10 flat pen against squishies in the early game. The similar problem with Smite. Smite's Titan's Bane used to give 33% pen, and it was so effective at killing everything that it was changed into like 15% penetration, scaling up to 40, and then now I think it's like I don't really know what it is right now. I think it's like 20 penetration with additional 20, which it's really weird. Basically, percent pen is supposed to work against tanks and not against squishies, but because this is 35, it actually works well against squishies and tanks. I'm sure basically this seems to be like a repeat of history. I believe that they're going to change percent penetration in this game eventually, but as of now, it's the same. So the second item, you're actually gonna go Cleaver, not like first item Cleaver, and this is because early game killing and ganking like level 2, level 3, level whatever up to 6 matters more than just going into just 20 power, because this is only 20 power. That's really nothing. It doesn't even give you any other stats besides that. And focusing on clearing the early game isn't that great on Kallari because you want early game pressure. I don't recommend building Cleaver first. Get a second, because once you have Demon Edge, that will carry you a little bit, and you can just focus on farming afterwards toward the mid game if you want, if there's no one to gank. And also it allows you to kind of clear those little jungle camps with like 6 or whatever minions in there. Be aware that I don't recommend clearing those 6 minions in the early game, except for like level 1, level 2, because it takes a while. Kallari is a single target character, so he takes a while to clear camps. So I recommend just doing the big camps, the 1 jungle monster, 2 jungle monsters, and then just ganking constantly and just kind of get kills and get gold and farm like that. And then get Cleaver second so you can clear those 6 minions so you can upgrade your hunt as fast as possible. The third item we're going to go is called Dread. So this is actually a core item in Kallari. No one can argue against this. This is insanely a must-have. Second or third item. If you don't count Cleaver, it's second item. What this does basically is not only does it give you, like, the base stats are really good, magic resistance, power, penetration. It has everything that you kind of want. The main reason you get this though is because of celerity. You gain 10% movement speed out of combat. This is amazing and busted, especially paired with Kallari. Kallari's Q gives 20% movement speed. Now, assuming that there's no diminishing returns of movement speed, I actually don't really know. Even if there is, you're still getting around 25% plus movement speed just by pressing Q, allowing you to move around very quickly. But based on the way I feel like I'm moving, it definitely feels like 30% movement speed. It allows you to travel from point A to point B very quicker or faster. And on top of that, technically speaking, the faster you move, the longer your vanish is. Not that it actually increases the vanish duration, it's only 12 seconds at max, but it's the fact that you can reach point A to point B quicker. You will still have enough time for your vanish to do other things. So indirectly, it increases your vanish duration, which is very important on Kallari. The third item we're going to get is called Pain Weaver. Pain Weaver is also core on Kallari. It works perfectly well with your auto canceling. You Q E, which is 1 proc of Pain Weaver, then you wait 1.5 seconds, you auto attack, and then you right click, that procs Pain Weaver again, and you auto attack, and now you just proc Pain Weaver in like less than 0.5 seconds twice. And that is very, very strong. The base stats are amazing, and it's just it's more damage on your auto attacks. Kallari is an auto attack canceller. You can't just play Kallari and just throw your abilities and then do nothing else afterwards. See, Kallari is just like Loki and Smite. You have to auto cancel constantly with this character. The fourth item we're gonna get is called Omen. So actually, this is kind of a problem. Omen is bugged on Kallari, but you still get it because it gives you that raw damage. So the base stats are great. I'm not going to talk about that. The passive, how it works is when you move forward. So it works really well with Kallari's Q and Dread, because the faster you move, the faster you can proc Torment, and you will proc Torment a lot, like very quickly. So it's not a problem of stacking it. You just got to move, like, I think it's from here to down there, and it's already fully stacked, so it's not anything like a problem. The main issue is that Kallari does not benefit from the cooldown reduction. So Kallari's Q and E does not benefit from Omen's cooldown reduction, and your right click is almost always up, so it's not like it really benefits it. So as much as like this doesn't really affect your cooldowns, it's still a must-have on Kallari, simply because your first hit will deal a lot of damage, and Kallari is all about getting 1 or 2 hits to do like half or more of your health, because people are going to push you back, stun you, and stuff like that. So you want to deal as much damage as possible before that happens, because if you can half health a enemy squishy with 1 auto attack, that's a lot. So you're still buying this just for the power and damage, but you're not buying this for the cooldown. A lot of items are actually bugged on Kallari, and we're going to talk more about this with like Malady and Vanquisher. So the last item is Vanquisher. Now, I just mentioned that Vanquisher is potentially bugged, as like Malady and Vanquisher. Vanquisher, so it's a similar with Omen. So guys, there's not a lot of items in this game, and I'm kind of forced to build certain things, even if they are not good on Kallari, because it's bugged, but they still provide more damage than other items. So Vanquisher gives you power, a source of mana, and the arcane power is the main reason you get this. Now, some people might talk about Demolisher. Vanquisher on the 5th slot, it actually hits harder than Demolisher. So you don't actually build Demolisher with Kallari. Vanquisher hits harder, and that's because of the penetration that you get on top of, because look, Desolate does not stack with Demon Edge, so you can't build these 2 items together, as you're just making it redundant. But also because Vanquisher gives 2% of physical power equals to your maximum mana. So we have 1400 mana. So it's more impactful. And I might be thinking, why do I not build Vanquisher in the 2nd slot, or like early on? Vanquisher, it's similar with the logic of Transcendence and Smite. Vanquisher is strongest when you're max level, not level 6 or level 9 or level 13. So technically speaking, mathematically speaking, Vanquisher is more valuable in Kallari last build, not early build. Now, what makes this item not work on Kallari is Annihilate. Annihilate is actually bugged on Kallari. His E cannot proc Annihilate. Should be dead, right? Of course. Is that excuse me, game? Is that not 5% HP? Or am I crazy? Does Vanquisher not work with my E? What happened there? How come Vanquisher didn't proc? Hey. So that's fun. So far there are 2 items in Kallari's build that does not fully work, and it's not. And again, I'm recommending these items simply because they're the best that there is right now. It's not like I can buy anything else that will work on Kallari without having just some arbitrary kind of stat lines like crit out of nowhere or something. So I definitely, it is unfortunate that like half the items in this game won't work on Kallari, but this is the best I can do with this, and it still hits really, really, really hard. Now let's compare this to popular questions like Malady or Tainted Blade or, Vanquisher. So Malady first item is the most common Kallari build out there. I don't think it's good at all. Simply because the passive of Malady is really weak in the early mid game, because you need to start stacking it. To stack it, you need to bring someone below 40% HP. By buying this first item, you will deal less damage than buying Demon Edge first item, and Demon Edge and Malady have the same gold price. You have to rely on bringing someone below 40% almost every single time, and you have to get kills to reset the cooldown just to proc it more often. And what if you're in a game where people are playing safe, and you don't have that luxury to constantly bring someone below 40% HP? It's not worth it. It's a very strong item late game, but trust me when I say this, you're going to kill people with this build almost instantly too. So it's not like Malady is like a big, oh, I must have or whatnot. And also, for those who don't know, Malady does not work on Kallari's E. So again, Kallari's E is bugged. It will not proc any passives or on hit effects. So things like Malady, Vanquisher, Tainted Blade, whatever, does not actually work, or according to devs, works half the time. So there are some games where it does work, and there's some games where it doesn't work. For me, it never works. So I don't recommend building Malady or anything else that's on hit effects, with the exception of, again, Vanquisher, simply because of arcane power and because this gives you a lot of damage on your first hit. So I hope that makes sense. And as for clearing, Kallari gets barbaric cleaver, so she doesn't really struggle with clearing camps. So I don't recommend building Malady at all as Kallari. Tainted Blade also does not work with Kallari's Q, even though it procs the passive of Tainted Blade. So the Hex, right? Kallari's Q procs Hex, but doesn't actually benefit off of Hex. If that did not make any sense, yes, that's the problem. It's bugged. It doesn't work on Kallari. Kallari actually cannot build anti-heal, and he has to throw daggers twice on a person before it actually procs. Yeah, unfortunately, Kallari cannot build anti-heal, so that's a bummer, which makes sense because every time I built this item and I went against a Countess, they're still healing a lot. So it's like, well, maybe that explains it, right? Oh, so one more thing about the Rogue Crest, I completely forgot. Rogue Crest you get next. You can get Witch Stalker against like Fae, but I wouldn't build Witch Stalker against heavy CC teams. Which sounds counterintuitive. This is because Witch Stalker does not make you immune to future CC. So even if you cleanse, let's say, a rock throw from Juggernaut, you're going to be chain CC'd anyways, because you cleanse the rock throw and then you're going to get pulled and then you're going to get silenced and you're going to get like knocked up or stunned again. Like Witch Stalker, based on my experience, is actually not good at all. And that I think Witch Stalker needs a buff. They should make it where you cleanse all debuffs to yourself and make yourself immune to all future CC, at least up to 1 second. Similar to Chimera E. Next is honestly the best thing for Kallari. It allows you to juke. And you can also use this against Fae now. You can, like in the 0.3, you can actually nex out of the Fae ult just so you can break the tether. So this is actually pretty good. I do recommend building nex, especially when you have when your cooldowns are down, or when you ult into a team fight and you can nex them backwards and just do millions of damage. Nex is absolutely a must-have on Kallari, pretty much at all times. And yeah, that's it. So anyways, hope you guys all enjoyed. If that's it, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please post it down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, stay safe, be cool.